that full totality of what it feels like to have a man in the household, have that family of, she rolls over and she wants her stomach to be rubbed. She knowing what it feels like when you come through the door and that baby says, "Hi, daddy, daddy, daddy." She would never have that.
Someone fetch me my apron. I feel good. I feel good.
A woman doesn't need a husband to be successful, because I didn't need my husband. I was already successful and up before I had him. You don't need a husband to be successful. Not at all.
What does successful look like, boys?
Happy in your own skin. Happy with the person that you are, and love with the person that you are, that you don't have to look for a man to love you, because you already love yourself. And that's what I mean by a successful female. Because success can look in any other way.
Is a successful female going to have children with kids?
Yes, you can be successful with kids. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So how can you be in this, what you just painted out to be successful, without being married, and you have a child in this scenario? Without
the child has nothing to do with that scenario.
Children has everything to do with that scenario. So when you said a woman can be successful and not get married, when you add a child to that, she is no longer successful. She is now a single mother. And being a single mother is not success. Single motherhood is failure. A child, a family, comprises of a man and a woman.
I appreciate the conversation. I appreciate the intellect and just the respect around as men that you guys are having over here. It's amazing to watch.
So, appreciate it. From you, that's the ultimate compliment, real talk.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. So let's see here. The onus, right? When I think about it in the sense of maybe a percentage, meaning, okay, when both people walk through the door to decide on having intercourse, at that moment, the onus is, I would say, 70% on the woman, because she, in a sexual intercourse, is not more than likely going to go around and have sex with different men as much as the men most likely do. Right? So when she's laying down to have sex with someone, it means a little bit more. I'm not saying all women, some. So it means a little bit more to her, for her to lay down and have sex with another man. So the onus walking into the door, I would say 70% is the woman. Now, after the intercourse has happened and it's found out, okay, there's a child, I would say at that point, in a perfect world, it will be nice to be like, the onus is 50-50. But to be honest, guys, she is the one that is going to have to go through that whole 10 months with that child. She's the one who's going to, you could take her, you could get her prenatal care, you could take her to the doctor, but she's the one who's still going to have to take those prenatal cares. She's still the one who's going to have to make sure she eat right. That onus is not on you. You can't force feed her. You can't make sure that she is not stressing herself out. You could do your best in doing that, but in actuality, when you think about it down to the little bit of that onus is on her. And it's important for us women to understand that. That's why we need to make sure that if we're going into this not protected or protected, we have to understand that how much of an onus is on us. I understand men, you guys do have a connection to feeling that. Just like Truth Never Fair said that it hurt him to hear the young lady aborted his child. I get that. However, there are women out there who do go through with a pregnancy, and when they do have, let's say if they do have an abortion or they do have a failed pregnancy, that hurt, you will never know that hurt is way deeper than you can imagine. So it all goes back to what I say is I look at it more of a percentage, but the percentage highly, highly, highly falls on that woman. When that woman says that, when that woman said to you, Truth Never Fails, that's why she aborted that baby. First of all, that was wrong for her to say that. She said that in retaliation to you, and that was disgusting. However, when she said that, I believe what came to her mind was, even though he would financially take care of this child and maybe pop in here and there and be a good dad, there are days and nights that she will never have that full totality of what it feels like to have a man in the household, have that family of, she rolls over and she wants her stomach to be rubbed. She knowing what it feels like when you come through the door and that baby says, "Hi, daddy, daddy, daddy." She would never have that. It's something deeper. And I'm pretty sure that's probably what went through her head. I'm just giving you the tip of the iceberg. A lot of the things that these baby mamas don't talk about. So it falls on the woman. And once we realize that, we will protect our womb and know that to give it up, it's not going to be easy. It's not. So that's what I had to say on that. Tell me how you feel.
Yeah, I definitely
look down and you'll see how I feel.
Yeah, I agree with all your sentiments. Like, I agree with everything. As far as, her feelings on me being there, me waking up to my child and everything like that, these are things that I later learned, and this is the reason why I changed. These are the reasons why I had to, find out what was wrong with me. This goes back to what I was talking about the other day, about people having traumas and the things that they're seeing when they're growing up and the things that they're taught. These are things that I had to deal with before I became a man. I have stated this time and time again. Before I became, before the age of 28, I wasn't a man. I was just an adult male, just operating on things that I had learned and thought that's what's indicative of what a man. This is what a man does. Go out there, crack women. As long as you take care of your bills, as long as you take care of your children, as long as you handle your business, you're a man. I later learned, after I found God, that a man is represented by making sound decisions and impregnating, as well as having sex with multiple women. That's not a sound decision. And that's why I never repeated that after I became saved, because now I have the mind of Christ and now I move that way. Also, I understand that what my role is as a man is to protect women. I'm not protecting them by misleading them, going up in their body, causing them to have different type of emotions. And like you said, leaving another child in a broken home. Those are things that after I found God, I had to face myself. When I call this like mirroring up, I had to face my past transgressions and sins in order to gain clarity and then move forward. The first thing, in order to change, you have to be self-accountable. Again, we always talk about this word accountability. And I said this, it starts with self first. So that's what I had to do. And then after that, I never repeated that, because like I told you, those are the only children I had. I had those children at my age of 20. They're 6 months apart. So when one dropped one, the other one was pregnant and dropped one 6 months ago. After that, I haven't repeated that. I haven't got another girl pregnant. And I would say, if you knew how many girls I slept with after that, you would say that the ratio, I've done a daggone good job of not getting another girl pregnant. I'll just leave that at that. But once I became saved, then no, I wasn't into spreading my seed around. I wasn't into going up and, countless women's bodies and misleading them and not being the man for them in their life and not marrying them. That's why I don't have sex no more.
So question for you. Now, it's very important. So I want to make sure that we get almost to a point of consensus, right? So in terms of the original question that we were on when we were discussing the responsibility All right, you see it there on the screen. So I can see Collette. I remember you said 70-30, and I can see Truth. You're more on the 100% side because you wish to have the totality of control, especially based on what took place in your life. And I respect that. Remember, folks, when people face trauma, we have two different character archetypes: fight or flight. Fight or flight. Flight is taking your ass up the road and running away and saying, you know what, fuck this, I'm out. I'm done with this shit. Nah, I don't need this. Nah, I ain't finna have this happen again. No, no, no. That's flight. Flying away. Fight is a first responder mentality. Fight is going into the burning building because you know that there's life, precious life in there. Fight. You understand what I'm saying? So it's real interesting in terms of seeing where the different personality archetypes determine what's important.
Someone fetch me my apron. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. Someone